Okay, so I'm doing recording right now of my new project. Basically, this is my July project. This is the project I've been doing now in July. And the way it works is that I'm using this Rokid glasses that I bought in Taiwan. These are Chinese, and they're quite easy to develop for them if you have the development cable. And I've developed an app for them that allows me to connect to a version of Claude Code that works on this app here. Basically, works on the glasses. I call them Claude glasses. In it, I can do all kinds of different things. I can go and I can create new projects. I can within a project, I can control Claude wirelessly without a cable through my phone, which is over here, like the hotspot of my phone, connecting to my computer at home. This is my computer at home that I have here, and on there I can do like major projects on the fly. So I could be walking down the street and then suddenly I get an idea, I open it up, and you can see here, this is sort of the view of the world that I have in front of me, and this text appears in front of that. And what I can do are things like, Claude, could you please take a look at or simulate another example of this reimbursement project like the one I did earlier? And at the top you can see that he says thinking, and he uses on-device speech to text, so it's really quick, and then he sends it through the computer to the cloud servers, where they sort of analyze what to do and how to do this. And then it says, good idea, let me do a diabetic foot ulcer example, a different shape, a low cost diagnosis, CMG plus an avoid amputation value lever. Let me pull the real figures. So you can see that what I was working here is called Canada reimbursement. I'm trying to figure out what are the reimbursement schemes in Canada and how they work for my job. He says he got the figures. 402 is the DFU, 12,100 for amputation, $27,000, etc. Let me add a second work case showing the different shape, etc. And then what he does is that he uploads this, like the results, into a server. So if I wanted to, I could go on my phone, open up a website, and see everything that it's doing right there as well. This is particularly useful if I'm going to be doing something very visual, etc. But a lot of the time, when you're doing a project like this, you're basically going back and forth with the AI all day, and that should not need necessarily a computer to do that, or even a phone to do that. You can just do that on the fly when you're doing something else through your classes in this way. Also, if you don't want to be speaking to it the way that I just did earlier, I have this tiny USB foldable Bluetooth keyboard that I can open up and start writing on, and it connects to my classes directly, and I can write like more elaborate prompts that way, or in an environment where I would not like to be talking to my classes. So you can see that he's like working on this at the moment on my classes. I want to point out that even though the recording that you're seeing right now seems to indicate that the text is filling up my whole vision, it's actually only like this big part of what is in front of me. I have all this peripheral vision as well that is not being covered. So there's one thing that I realized when I was doing the earlier clip, and that is it doesn't really sort of reveal the mobility of what we're doing here. So the I was sitting right in front of my phone. I was sitting right in front of my big desktop computer. So what's the point in carrying those glasses? Well, it's because I can basically use them anywhere, anytime, anyhow I want, without being close to my computer or anyway. As long as I can have my phone in my pocket and the glasses, I can go ahead and use them. So let's just, for example, we'll go ahead and do a little walk together, and we can hopefully demonstrate the usefulness of this. I'm gonna walk here to a small park next to my house while I use it. And I'm gonna click here. I'm gonna get into my glasses. And I need to make sure that I'm connecting to it, and that's no problem. And I'm gonna start recording in the glasses. That's one of the functions that I added here. Start recording. So right now, somewhere here, I'll probably try to add a little screenshot of what you're seeing through the glasses. But let me see. Okay, so, well, first of all, let's go to the project here. I made it create a little history for me about the stuff that we've been doing with this since we began. Let me see. Let me see, go through this. Maybe I'll cut through this quickly. So the things that we started by was building sort of the core, the voice bridge that drives the Claude Code on the PC from the classes. It streams each of the steps through the HUD. That's what you can see here. With a project picker, there's a rim button where I can like take a picture and send it to the system. There is per project has its own chat memory, and I also able to create the projects with my voice. I created this live sort of preview tunnel, so I can see if I'm creating an app or something like that. I can see it on the on my phone or on my computer or whatever. Like even if I'm not at home, yeah. I immerse this all into these glasses and whatever. So there's been a ton of steps, but I think the best thing we could really do is that we could go ahead and we could try it out just real quickly. But one of the cool things, I want to show you is that I can also, now there's a lot of weird people around and they see that I am talking to you, but I don't need to necessarily be talking to the system. I can talk to the system. Let's just go back. Let's, for example, show this. I'm going to double click, I go back, I go to new project and I say snake video game. And then I tap again and he should be creating the project. And I could say something like, please create a snake video game and add it to my, and spin up a server and put it on port 3000 where I can preview it on my phone. Also, please make sure that if there's any other preview going on port 3000 that you start by first killing that process. So let's do that. Oh, I was not talking. Okay. All right, let's do this again then. So please make a snake video game and spin up a little server where you can play it. Put it on port 3000. If there's any other service already being run on port 3000, please kill that first. Sometimes there are problems with that, so make sure that there's nothing going on there before you run this on that. And now it starts thinking, and maybe I'll just sit down here for 1 second. He's thinking. It sent it back to my computer. Locally on my computer, what we'll have there is basically a speech-to-text encoder that just happens locally there, so that's really, really quick. And that goes back to my desktop, which is up there in my house. I'm not connected to my house internet though, just connected to my phone. Okay, it says the snake is built and live on port 3000. So let's see if that worked. Here's my phone. It's connected to the USB audio. That's why we have this little thing on the bottom. It has nothing to do with my glasses. But what I can do is I can go to here. I can go to the little website that I created to see things, preview, and here I have Snake Game. That's right. Well, it's assuming that I have a keyboard to work on it, which I do not. So I need to tell it I do not have a keyboard. It's on a phone that I'm running it, so make sure it's like touch sensitive, like that you can control it with touch. And he goes into thinking mode. And the messages go through, and he will say, editing index at HTML, running the PowerShell, executing policy. It's live again. Okay, let's go to my phone. Let's refresh. And yeah, now it'll work. I can control it like this, my little video game. That's fun. It's difficult though. I'm not really good. Oh, there, I got it. 1. Okay, great. It just created this game, by the way, from scratch in like few seconds. I mean, like that's what Claude Code do, but I did it outside, far away from my computer, just using these glasses. But a couple other things that I'm really proud of is that I have like this little Bluetooth keyboard. I control that like this, and I've also controlled it. I've also made it so it's gonna be easy for me to control it in that way. So let's say that I want to just talk to it a little bit more elaborately without everybody around me hear me. So I'll say, make the snake look more like a snake. Return. And another cool thing also is that I can, if I would be in the middle of a conversation or somebody while I was kind of programming on the fly like this, I can do like this and minimize it to the bottom or all the way and just focus on what's going on. So obviously I'm here out in the little park next to my house. Let's see what's going on. It's running the PowerShell, execution, policy, bypass the file. Now it draws as a one smooth is the point where you're going. It's live on port 3000. Okay, let's go all the way back, so I can see what's going on. Good. Okay, let's restart here. Look, it looked like a snake now. Or does it? It has a little apple. And a little tongue that goes out of it. That's all just done on the fly. This is not an app that I downloaded it anyway. It's nothing like that. It's very much just a little code that it just created and then executed on the fly. I could also say something like, I could go back. I can go here. It goes a new project. All the flowers of Iceland. Make a little app that can list all the flowers that survive well in the environment of Reykjavik. Rage flag. Okay. So it starts running this. And this is while it does that, by the way, he did not catch the way that I pronounced it Reykjavik really well. That's the city that I'm living in, capital of Iceland. Let's see if he figures that out. Otherwise I have to fix him and tell him, actually I'm talking about something else. I'm talking about a city in Iceland, and he might understand it better. But it's running it. It looks like it's running it on just like it looks a little bit. If you're familiar with codes on commands in the terminal, sort of doing that. Okay, it started to happen here. Let me see. They say done. I built a single weight range of weight flower finder with 15 cold cell. Sorry, I made a mistake earlier. I meant Reykjavik, the capital city of Iceland. Did you catch that? Could you please make sure that this is the case? Again, the speech to text is not working really well with Icelandic words. I could probably fix that by just going back to the original project and ask it to switch to other models or whatever. These sort of things are quite common these days. But in this case, just by being a little bit more elaborate, it understands me and explains. I said, you got it, Reykjavik, the capital of Iceland. Updated the title heading and existing floor. Also, it's called Windigo. Is this based on like real facts? I want to make sure that these are the flowers that actually thrive in Reykjavik. Let's just go up here. No, this direction. I'm going to do a little thing. We're going to the other park next to the church. Mostly, yes, these are real Icelandic flora that generally tolerate. What do you say mostly? Just make sure that you confirm that before you continue, that these are based on real facts. That's all I want from this project. Obviously, this is not a real project. I'm just trying to demonstrate like how it could be having a little stroll and walking around the park and programming a little project on the fly. I sort of wish that I had a better example than that. Do you want this kind of real? Yes. Yes, I want this to be real. Yep, do some research. Now, I don't like where it's getting going with this, so I click to stop. Stop. Let's try this again. I feel like you're just starting with this unreal flowers as a baseline. Scratch that. Forget about them. Start with researching. Find out which flowers are the ones that thrive best in this city, and then rebuild the project. Okay, I'll research the Reykjavik Iceland flora from real sources, then rebuild the art from verified plants starting now. So I start doing it now with a web search. That's a lot more, how to say, appropriate in my opinion. He's doing web search, he's doing some web analysis. This part of the work obviously is very reminiscent of how most people are used to just using tools like ChatGPT and other things like that. And lupine comes there, meadow, buttercup, harnesses of Iceland, common, etc., etc. He's thinking, while he's thinking, I'm thinking about like what sort of additional features I want to put into this project. A couple of things on my mind is that I would like it to have an Icelandic name there as well. I also would like there to be a picture of the flower as well. And let's just allow him to finish this. Research done from real sources, rebuilding now, he says. Let's minimize this while I'm just enjoying my little stroll. This is the old American embassy in Iceland, here at Leifasvegur. Now it has been moved to a lot more of a sturdy building. Okay, it's editing the index. That just means that we're almost there. And maybe, like the final touch of it, although I don't think I'll go through it now, would be to make some kind of a flower recognizer. Use the camera to take a picture of a flower and tell me if it's possible that this could be a flower from Reykjavik or something like that. or maybe use the geolocation to find out where you are. And when it finds out in Reykjavik, it tries to match it with known Reykjavik flowers. Because I've noticed with a lot of plant detection systems out there right now, they're quite good, but they would benefit from more context and more information, right? Like they've come up with, like, flowers can be very similar between countries, but they're not quite the same. But knowing where you are could actually be very helpful. Please ask me if I want to open up a preview. Before opening up a preview, I would like each of the flowers to have like a picture of the flower next to it, and I also want to make sure that you have the Icelandic name of the flower in a descriptive way next to each entry. I think the speeds is good. Before I would like each of the flowers to have a picture. Yeah, I think he gets it. He probably understands what I mean. You can see at the top of the little screen, there's a little dot that tells me that I'm recording this. This was also something that I had a lot of fun creating when I was I opened up the glasses and started to create all these different features that are not, by the way, native. None of this is native to the system. Okay, now it's getting all the pictures. I walked in a circle already. Beautiful. Let me see, approaches of the flowers of Iceland. He's thinking still. So if I would tap now, he would stop this session of thinking, which I don't want. I want him to finish it. That's what I want to do. Maybe I'll spin through this quite quickly. Might fast forward. Maybe I'll do like a little overview of the city while we're thinking about this. I'm not super happy with how slowly he's doing this. Let me see. I have to stop. Like no matter where you are, can I just preview now the option, like the status of the project? Put it on port 3000. Remember to kill any process that we did before. I'm always telling him to kill the process before because I just ran on port 3000 earlier. The snake came, so he needs to find that task and kill it first. I could obviously just automate that really quickly if I wanted to. So he's running the PowerShell execution policy bypass. Let's pick up the phone. And it's live on port 3000. Oh, here we are. 20% remaining. Reykjavik Flower Finder. Mountain Abbas, Arctic Time, Lothberg. Perfect. No pictures yet. I stopped it before I finished. I just didn't want to bother with this. So you can see here probably from the camera view of my glasses, like how it looks like. Beautiful. Okay. Enough of a demonstration. Let's go back out of here. Let's stop the recording. Clip is saved. And I just say bye-bye.